Hello and welcome to the Thursday night GT3 Championship from Race Department on Project Cars. This is round 7 at Bathurst Mount Panorama and it is the sprint race. Remember, the top 5 from the feature race in round 6 will now start from the back of the grid, and with 3 Mercedes drivers taking the podium positions, how are they going to fare coming from the back? Let's find out. It was Dom putting his Corvette on pole for the first time this season, but will he be able to continue his good run of form of starts? Amari joins him on the front row, and Jamal put in a solid time to place third on the grid just ahead of Liam. Frank is 5th alongside Gaza. Matt is joined by Ben on the 4th row. Jeremy is 9th ahead of Andrew, Benji and Adam, who rounds out the grid for round 7 sprint race. At the start, and Dom stayed true to his form and got away well as he led into turn 1. Meanwhile, in the midfield there was carnage as the drivers all jostled for position down the narrow pit straight. As we now ride on board with Benji, who started at the back of the grid. If you look just in front of you to your right, you'll see the carnage kick off. And as everyone slams on the brake, the ricochet effect happens. And then from there on in, it's pinball time. Now on board with Ben, who has Matt and his M3 directly alongside, and he gets a very good start. Matt just ahead of him. Frank has a bit of a moment and collects him. Ben manages to slip through unscathed and manages to make up 2 more places on the exit of turn 1. Unfortunately though, Matt sustained too much damage and had to retire. Still on lap 1 and the run down to turn 2, Benji repeating what he did in race 1, using his Mercedes power to his full advantage, this time driving past Adam. Half a lap later and Benji was at it again, this time on fellow Mercedes driver Frank. And it must have been an Infinite Racing Team thing, as Andrew then blitzed round the outside in a daring move at the chase on Liam. However, there was a bit of contact at the apex, forcing Liam off the track and subsequently losing him 3 more places to Benji, Frank and Adam. Further forward, and Ben was enjoying his new Mercedes car as he tried to get round the outside of Gaza into Griffin's Bend. But Gaza held strong, forcing Ben out wide, and he retained the place. Liam was on a charge to try and regain the places he lost at the same corner not too long ago. But as he went for a move on Adam, Adam overtook Frank, and Liam was still stuck at the back of the pile. Jamal was running well towards the front of the field, but he had this big moment at the chase, almost collecting Andrew and somehow keeping the car on the track. Having been run wide at Griffin's Bend by Gaza, Ben was determined to get through this time, and he got the move done by the time they got to the braking zone. Andrew is pushing hard, but he clouted the wall at the cutting. Liam was still fighting with Frank, trying to recover from his off earlier, but Frank forced him into the wall on the left hand side up the hill. However, karma is a bitch, and it came back to bite him as Frank hit the wall only a corner later, allowing Liam to slip down the inside at McPhillamy Park. Surprisingly, it was Andrew who had to pull over for Benji this time. Ben had a big moment at Forest Elbow as he hit the inside wall, but he somehow managed to stay ahead of Gaza. Jeremy had a bit of a weird moment as he hit the outside wall at Forest Elbow. Pole sitter Dom locked up at the cutting and consequently had to defend hard to retain the place from Amari. Half a lap later and Amari was at it again, this time having a look down the inside at the chase. And it looked like he was through, but Dom was later on the brakes and somehow managed to hold the place. The battle was on. Dom was seemingly cracking under pressure as he smashed into the wall at the bottom of the S's. However, Amari was still unable to get through, allowing Ben, Gaza and Benji all to close up, giving us a 5-car battle for position, and I'll let you see how it unfolds. Jamal had a big moment at Skyline as he hit the inside curb, pushing him into the gravel. Thankfully, he returned to the track unharmed. Andrew had now caught the back of Gaza, and the Season 1 champion drove past the Season 3 champion into the chase. Next target was Amari. Frank was looking rattled as he come under pressure from Jeremy, and his luck run out at Skyline as he smashed into the wall, causing big damage to the front end. Benji's Lion was now chasing down the injured Gazelle of Dom, and it was easy meat as he drove past him before they even got to the chase. Benji's teammate Andrew was trying to follow suit, so he got down the inside of Amari into Griffin's. However, Amari made a mistake on the exit, and he smashed into the inside wall. Unfortunately, the damage sustained on Frank's Mercedes was too much for him to continue. Adam was on a surge, and he was let through by teammate Amari. But he almost lost all that advantage as a lap later he made a mistake at the exit of the chase. Dom was defending his final spot on the podium valiantly as he defended hard from Andrew into the chase. But Andrew pulled off an exquisite move around the outside to nab third place. But it was Ben and his new Mercedes taking the sprint race victory, his first win of the season, closely followed by Benji. Andrew grabbed the final spot on the podium ahead of Dom, Gaza and Adam. Amari followed him in 7th, ahead of a strong drive from Jamal. Liam was 9th, and Jeremy grabbed the final sprint in 10th. A double podium for Andrew means he is nibbling away at Gaza's lead in the points. Ben now jumps up to 3rd with an impressive win. Liam drops to 4th, now joint on points with a very happy Benji. Amari and Adam are still joint at the hip on 56 points, while Dom is in 8th ahead of Matt and Lance. Jeremy picked up another point to move his steady flow onto 20, and Jamal is now level on 13 points with Frank. The strongest weekend of the season for Infinite Racing as they noticeably close in on Spam Fritters Racing. O&M are now only holding on to 3rd ahead of Max Power Racing. Team America are in 5th on 71 points. Wacky Racing are 6th on 53 points. And Flash Racing Team are 7th on 15 points. So this weekend at Bathurst was dominated by three drivers, Andrew, Ben and Benji. The question is, can they take this forward to Monaco to mount a real title challenge on Gaz's defence?